Welcome back. Thanks for giving me another turn about the room. That's the name of this episode. The name of the other LBD. This LBD's name is just a number. If you want to support this numbered show, check out my Patreon for extended and bonus episodes. My name is Ashley Clements.
Oh, hey there. My name is Jessica Jade, and this is the Look Back Diaries.
Do.
Is
Yay!
there music being put in?
Oh, no, it's me doing that.
Okay, great. I actually think I remember this episode.
I'm not sure if I do. I mean, like the name of it ping for me, because it references a Pride and Prejudice thing. And I do remember, what I remember is that, like, personally, I felt like we worked too hard to try to adhere to the novel at this moment, because there is no 2012 equivalent to walking in a circle in a large room because you're so bored.
And I would like to say, I think because of this episode, I still use the phrase, like, take a turn. I use it. I literally said the other day to my daughter, it's like, should we go take a turn about the yard? I mean, she's 8 months. She's like, turn? Like, what? But yeah, I'm like, this is great.
She's like, words?
Also, I do think, I mean, I don't know if you feel this. I wish there was a way at a party when you're like kind of talking to someone and you're like, yeah, it's just this conversation. Yeah. Like, I wish there was a thing where you'd be like, I'm just gonna go take a turn about the room. I'll be back in like a second. Like, see what's going on.
Well, I can see the freeze frame for this episode, and you can't, and I want to show it to you. So let's take a look back, because check that out.
That's pretty amazing.
It's a great screen grab. Also, like, your makeup looks fantastic. I mean, yeah.
So this can't have been the same. This can't have been the same day.
No, it is. It's just that it means that we did it later in the day because she built it up.
I don't know.
Wow. Also, I was, man, where was I? Huh.
A diary is a great sound.
I mean, Southern California.
Not let the things that are bothering you crush your spirits.
Not super crushed feeling.
And
right
think about your viewers. Don't you want them to hear how you're feeling?
Yeah, you're really pushing your way in here.
I know, I loved this episode because I felt like I definitely had a clear agenda. Like, that's the best thing as an actor, when you know exactly what you're there to do. Well, I'm like, great, I know what I'm doing here. I'm going to get this girl riled up
I do miss Charlotte.
about that.
I'm sure she misses
A-hole.
Well, and I can also confirm that it's later in the day because I would always start with my hair down. So once my hair is up, it means it's later in the day. So that must mean actually that we finished the day, you and I. You may have been there just the whole day though, because you're in all but 2 of them for this arc, or 3 of them. One of them that you're in is a Q&A. So.
Okay, so I came down to the living room, family room.
We refer to it as
We have so many rooms. That is a good line. That is a good bit.
He works anywhere and everywhere.
You know when you're in one of those houses that has like
so many,
so I came in,
many like gathering spaces. And it's like, oh, this one we call the den. This is the library. You're like, sure, yeah.
Really strange and honestly,
me too.
Kind of rude.
Don't worry about that. Please continue.
So it was really dull until you had me walk with you to disrupt it.
2 lovely ladies taking a turn about the room.
Yes, this is some of the dialogue that I was talking about in the other episode when I was saying that you would get dialogue that I was like, I don't know how you say that like a real person. And then you would say it. And I would go, wow, how is she making that work?
What do you say?
But yeah, I mean, someone else might feel the way about Lizzie's dialogue because Lizzie's dialogue was also stilted in some ways.
I love your Darcy forever and ever.
I would be in
Thank
your
you
way.
so much.
If the second, the view from here will do.
Oh, shut up.
What's really funny is that, like, Darcy didn't exist yet. Do you know what I mean? Like, Daniel did not.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, no, I know.
Don't you know that arrogance deserves punishment?
Well, his arrogance is.
Well, it's funny because, like, when we were looking for Darcy's, we had so many impressions. Like, we needed to kind of make sense of. But you had been impersonated on the show, but by Julia, and just once.
Oh, I don't know that. Oh my god.
Yeah, episode 15, if you feel like going back and looking at it.
Okay.
And what's funny is when we rewatched it, we had not cast you yet, and Julia was like, yeah, but see, I should have done something different with my voice. Like, I don't think that's a good Jessica impression. And it was
Of
like,
course, he's a
you
short-tempered
hadn't
as
met
well.
Jessica yet. We hadn't cast her.
Give
Like,
it
you
a
couldn't
no
be
surprise.
doing an
Opinion on one's law
impression of
is law.
her.
And she was
So
like,
it was
"Oh."
a funny moment. Laura and I had to be like, you
Hating
did great.
everyone.
What an awful way to live life.
We are in total agreement, Lizzie. And you, do you have flaws? According to Darcy.
He says
And
that
here
I
you are just goading me
intentionally
into-
misunderstand people. How the hell do you intentionally misunderstand people?
Completely, totally ridiculous.
I hate him. I hate you. Judgy little- Blah.
Oh,
I love this part where I'm like, yes, she's getting mad.
yeah, look at you. You satisfied little smile.
Don't you feel better?
It worked.
Yeah.
And it's all under the guise of being my
I
friend.
thought that getting angry at Darcy would make me feel better.
Happy to help, Elizabeth.
I always think
Well,
it is,
how
and
about
I
her,
call
huh?
you Elizabeth.
Caroline Lee.
Yes.
Figure.
I can
Yes,
safely
that
say
was
that
a
I've never
decision
hated
that they
anyone
As much as I
made.
hate Darcy.
Does
I am just
anyone
wearing
else
a
call you Elizabeth in
plain
this series?
tank top.
Seem to get along with him so well. Maybe
Anyone
it's
else?
just
Oh,
Caroline being nice,
you mean
being
play
a better
me?
person.
Yeah.
Does
Like
any?
she doesn't
Oh,
have
call me
to-
Elizabeth.
Yeah, your mom.
I don't
She's
think
just
any.
projecting that for politeness.
No.
She isn't confrontational.
I don't think
and
so.
Even when he's being
Catherine
a
DeBerg
stuck-up
calls me
ass.
Liz.
Anyway, I know
Oh,
Caroline is
God.
Which is
watching
weird.
these, and because I forgot to say it earlier, let me
Um,
just say thank you, Caroline, for everything. You're
Wow,
a
look at
better
how
woman
it's
than
turned.
I
Look at
am.
how I've just got you wrapped around my little finger.
Yeah, you really do. But like that again is part of what makes your casting so smart is that we don't think that Lizzie's an idiot for having fallen for it because you're
Yeah,
very likable. Like you
Well,
are.
it's just obvious that Darcy's being a dick.
Well, and also like Darcy kind of was.
Well,
being
yeah,
a
I mean,
dick. I mean, as much as he can accuse me of intentionally misunderstanding people, he did not use his words to say that he liked me. He continued to insult me.
do I have any? Do Caroline and Darcy have any videos together? Any episodes together?
No.
No.
It's Lizzie's show. It's already kind of difficult to get
Enough
other people.
Yeah, totally.
Like, it's hard to get certain people on it. And there are a few times when we kind of manufacture a reason for other people to have conversations on camera where Lizzie's not there.
Right.
You both are at Collins and Collins in the fall, but not in the same episode.
Yes, I remember that.
You were there for 3 shoot days. I'm just thinking about how like people are spread out because some people
Yeah.
are really like clustered and then disappear, and some people kind of come back because it's just a weird.
Charlotte,
Thing that
how
we
was
do
Charlotte?
try to-
How was Julia's shoots? Because she did a bunch at the beginning, right?
Yeah. No, the first 3 shoot days were the 4 original cast members, and then this is the first day where we had, other than VidCon, which was a weird thing. So then, yeah, suddenly we don't have Lydia or Charlotte, which just means that like they weren't there. Lydia got a spinoff, so she was filming that around this time period. And Julia just had time off from the show. We kept those characters alive by talking about them.
Right.
This sort of fake talking to Charlotte thing that gets introduced here. But it's something that I've thought more about in the rewatch, that the show for me was like a very continuous year of my life.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm the only person who showed up I'm the only like cast member
Mm-hmm.
who showed up to every shoot day. And so everyone else had a lot of, the episodes were constantly, coming out because we would batch shoot them. So they would come out, much more slowly than we shot them. And throughout the process, and then also the summer after the show ended, we were doing conventions and things. And so the show lived for us, and we would also see each other socially a lot during this time. The show had its own, parties and things. There were award shows that we went to that we had parties around. I remember we had a holiday party. So like I saw everyone a lot.
Yeah.
And the show was like a major, major, major part of my life because I was like very devoted to it for this year of my life. But that for someone like you, like what was your experience like? Because you had this, you were introduced at VidCon, people screaming even though they hadn't seen you on camera yet, but you were very anticipated. Then and at that point you had already shot this day with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then the episodes came out over the next month, and there would have been a lot of fan response. And then you would have come back in the fall,
Yeah.
having like been away from the whole thing for months.
I
Like,
mean,
what was
I
that
didn't
like?
even really realize that I was gonna come back. I mean, I guess I should have. Like, that's kind of pretty obvious.
Well,
But
I don't know that anything had been like decided because both of your like kind of return episodes are farther from the book than anything else
yes,
that
I
we
remember
did.
that. I remember that. Yeah. So yeah, I was happy to be back and happy that it was doing so well. You know, because when I first did it, like I'm like, oh, okay, cool, like a web series, like whatever, you know,
Right, right.
I had no idea.
I mean, the show had like some success, but by the time you were cast, we
Yes,
were
for
getting
sure.
like, I don't know, 60,000 views an episode or something like that at that point. I've already discussed on the show that VidCon was a huge turning point for me because it put like people behind all the screen names.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just very different to be in a room with people who were that excited. And you came into the show in such a different way.
I did not realize. I was like, what in the what? I like really,
Right.
truly did not understand when I got there. And I was like, oh my God, there are people that like are obsessed with this show. This is so crazy. Like, cool.
Do you think that it's better that you didn't know that before we filmed?
Maybe, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, although, like, I'm like, what have I.
I can only think that it would have made me more in my head
Yeah, right.
if
I
I'd
guess.
known. So obviously, like, I knew later, but at least at that point, we were very much in a groove of knowing what we were doing.
Yeah, you're just in your flow state of like.
Yeah. I do remember that when you and Christopher joined, you were the first time, but that's because we shot that VidCon piece out of order. So having you and Christopher there were the first new people that we were introducing to our set, to our weird little way of working,
Mm-hmm.
to the show. And I do remember like really wanting to help you, not out of like altruism, but because I wanted the show to be good.
Yeah.
And I felt like I'd figured out a lot of stuff that helped me do
Mm.
this weird style of show. And so I do remember just like kind of trying to be like, hey, like this is what I do, because like that, you know, I have all this dialogue to learn, and like this helps me, and this is how.
I don't know how you did all of that dialogue like every single day. Like your brain must have just been mooshed. Did you memorize all of it?
I was really trying to memorize just as much as I could, knowing that we could always put jump cuts in if we had to, and that I can always scoop my line off this
Yeah.
music stand that's just out of frame. The days got shorter when I really prioritized memorizing, but I was also just very much in like good memory
Yeah.
shape at the time. I was flexing that muscle, and now
Totally.
that muscle is very out of shape.
Isn't that crazy?
I don't know. We did it. We did it is how we did it.
And that's one of my favorite episodes. And then my other favorite episode is Carpool.
Oh.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, just because I think it was really like I get to make fun of Bing, don't I? In that one, I think I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is.
And
that is where also you like refuse to put on for the audience. This episode was the last one, and for me, I filmed that a little while ago, so I'm trying to remember it. Yes, that is the one. It's a very funny bit. You don't want to mess up your hair, so you won't put on the little doctor headbands. You hold it up, and you're like, I'm Bing. It's a good bit. It's a good bit. I think it's the only time
I make fun of Bing, or I do a voice or something. But I remember being like, I don't know how to make fun of Christopher. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think if.
But then it was perfect. Then it was perfect because, like, a lot of people have in the look backs, you know, said like, oh, that, you know, I wasn't doing a good impression. And I'm like, but it's Caroline,
right?
And Caroline wouldn't be good at impressions.
No,
like she wouldn't.
No.
This is your final. You're in a Q&A after this.
That's
but
right.
We sort of don't consider those real episodes. And so this is actually, even though there's 2 more episodes in your house, we don't see Caroline again.
This makes sense this is the last episode that we end with me, because it's like a strong I feel like I've
Yeah.
won. And this play, like when I leave, I'm like,
Yeah.
I have the upper hand.
That's true. Well, let's see what the audience thought.
Yeah, did anyone comment on my clothing, my designer wardrobe?
The Madison Taylor says the actress playing Caroline plays the sneaky evilness of her extremely well in an extremely subtle way. Props to
Aw,
her.
thanks, Madison.
Props to you. JC Hobbit says the actress playing Caroline. Wow, that's weird because those are
The same.
next.
people.
That's weird. Is really subtle in a badass way. I thought she played this role really well. Me too. I also thought that.
So
Juliana.
this is how I go so deep in the threads. Then I see that someone reads in a reply, and I would like literally click on the replies and see what someone replies back.
Let's see. Rebecca M says, and that passive aggressive though, LOL. All the passive aggressive. A Secret says, her face when Lizzie yelled at how much she hated him. Yes, feed into the hate, Lizzie. We commented on it too. Edith Ellisher says, I was going to say the same thing.
I love reading comment threads. I cannot handle it. Not when I'm the subject of them, but like with other things. So, but this has been long enough that it's entertaining.
But these are so nice.
So nice, so nice.
The fans are so defensive of Darcy and so hating on Wickham, like on rewatches. It's just really funny because like he's not in this episode. Let's talk about Caroline. Crazy Forever 8D says, so I have a feeling that Caroline is saying all this with Lizzie to try and make Lizzie dislike Darcy more because Caroline is trying to make sure Lizzie doesn't start liking Darcy because Caroline knows that Darcy likes Lizzie and Caroline doesn't like that Darcy likes Lizzie because she likes Darcy. Am I right?
That is like the best summary of this episode.
It's the best, but then she writes LOL and I'm like, are you joking? Or is that really what you thought the first time you watched it? Because that would be so precious if you didn't know Pride and Prejudice and you were actually like, wait a second, I think that I'm seeing through this.
Yep.
Totally right. Even more obvious in the book. I take it you've never read Pride and Prejudice. To be fair, that book is dense AF. That actually makes sense. Spoiler, this is a really old story.
Oh. So
I'm a good judge of character. Literally, almost everyone she befriends with is manipulating her and putting her interests ahead. Yeah, Lizzie's actually sort of not the best judge of character.
She's just very trusting.
Nubian Tigress says she's using the old keep your enemies closer tactic. Sneaky Caroline, sneaky.
Yes.
It's true. So that's the adjective that they've chosen for you. It's sneaky. You're sneaky.
I don't know why this is my sneakies. Like a little
because
mouth.
It's very sneaky. That's why it makes sense. This is a sneak. You did such a great job. Thank you so much for joining me for a look back. I hope that we can wrangle you back in the fall when Caroline reappears.
I would love that. Bye, guys.